Hi all, this is Dino the Ops Guy. Welcome back. This is Stardew Production Management 101 or Production Management Practice. I kind of flipped them that time. But either way, it's a production management course set in sort of a classroom, set in a textbook, whatever. It's set in a real environment. And in this case, the real environment is virtual. I know that sounds a bit odd, but it's set in a place where operations is done. And in this case, I've chosen Stardew Valley, where operations is done. It's not the absolute best situation, but even if I took you to a real factory, none of them would be the absolute best situation for a lot of different reasons. But it does have a lot of the nuance, and it does have a lot of the structure that we need to get through operations issues or production management issues. So it actually works out very, very well. I take the upper management or the strategic role. We have someone on the ground called Av, who we rely on for the day-to-day stuff, and they're different. I mean, most people I meet in management think that the operators are superfluous and really don't have a place. And really, this episode is to sort of poke holes at that. In the last episode, we talked about executing on assets, and this was really a discussion about you can measure sort of not just sort of pro forma, but empirically what you're getting back as far as on your assets, whether it's the bee houses or whether it's the cows and the chickens, or whether it's the mushroom logs or the kegs or the jars, etc. You can sort of measure empirically what did we get as far as an income per day. And in some cases, that's pretty valuable because you want a lot of income per day, but also income per touch. And as long as the bottleneck is the time we have during the day, and for the most part, whether you would call it the bottleneck or just the restriction to get to the next bottleneck, it is a restriction. It is a constraint. So in some cases, we'll call touch a proxy for time during the day, because if you have to touch it 2 or 3 times, that's just more time in the day that you've lost. So income per touch becomes a measure of, in the last minute, in your sort of priority setting, what type of things do you want to favor? And the high numbers there, sort of like for the honey and the mushroom, if you can see one of the bee houses that needs to has a honey ready, you might as well pick it so it can start making the next one, because on an income per touch basis, that one works very well. But we do need to consider both, because if you, let's look at the next one. If you look at that green kind of line for kegs, there's a spike there where we get essentially 400 per day. That might have been, 6 or 7 or 8 different honey jars or whatever, but you can see it's well above the rest. If we have that kind of spikiness every day, we're not going to make as much money as we should be making. So what we need is sort of that base load, that the best income per day to sort of set the steady income. And then as we're picking priorities, then we can go to the touch per day to set those priorities, to say, I'm going to pick a jar of honey over a mushroom over something coming out of the crab pots, that sort of thing. And we will do that on a regular basis, but we still need the support of that base income per day. We're going to get a steady stream that we can rely on, and it's not going to be bouncing all over the place, jumping around. So we need both. And this type of information, being able to understand when things come in and what the schedules are empirically, not just on a pro forma basis, using a good IT system to sort of back up this information, we can actually empower workers with this. We can use this information not just from a planning standpoint, not just from a capital or an assets standpoint, but also from how we manage, because I don't know if you figured this out yet. Production management is partly production and it's partly management. It's just, that's what it is. So if one of the things that's worked very, very well for me, and it's something as simple as a whiteboard, whether you post it next to where the operator is, or have it on rollers and next to where the operator is, or somewhere close to where the operator is, the idea being take the schedule, and I know the schedule isn't always firm, right? It could be explicit. This is what we're going to do today, or it could be implicit. Anything you see coming off that line, we're going to process, whether it's repairs or whatever the case. But whatever that schedule is, if we could show it as a target list on a whiteboard to say now in this case I've used days. Usually on the floor I'll use hours. But either way, on the top of the board we should have the date, so that if it's fall 4 and you see that the date is fall 2, you know it's out of date and we can't really rely on the data. And it should have who is responsible for that board, who is the operator. In this case, Av is the operator. And then we'll have, these are the things that we're expecting, and this is the target, whether it's whether each slot is an hour and that's per hour, or each slot is a work job and we're expecting it to be 40 minutes, and you tell us whether it's 50 minutes or 30 minutes, those types of things. But what it does is it explicitly tells the operator what has to be done. And people think, well, why are we doing this? The operator's smart. They should be able to figure it out. Or, if we have to do this for the operator, why do we need the operator at all? We can just do it ourselves. And all of that just falls right apart. So first off, the operators, the more I talk to operators, the more I get, they want to know what to do. Not how to do it, what to do. If there's a sort of, issues with instruction, yes, they want proper instruction. Yes, they want to be trained on the right tools. They want to be trained on the processes. But at the end of the day, being explicit about this is what we want you to do is very, very valuable for the operator. It clears up a lot of the communication. So, and then it's up to them to execute on it. And even when we look at training, I'll be very clear. When I'm training, and I do a lot of it, when I'm training, when when I'm talking through with the operator what they should be doing, I kind of specify this is how we know it could work. I want you to find a better way. And there have been situations, certainly I remember one situation, there was this one hand motion that came up in training all the time. And I asked the trainers, why do they have that hand motion? And when we got it properly used all the time, it doubled the manual line speed. It was just enough that it gave you that relief and we thought I thought it was the best thing ever. And wouldn't you know it, 6 months later, one of the line leads found a better way. So, not for all the products, just for one product. But they were smart enough to say, that's not the only way. That is a great way, but it's not the only way. And we don't want to restrict the operators to say, thou shalt do it exactly this way and never think about it. And all of this comes down from the standpoint that the operator is the closest one to it. The operator has profound knowledge about how that operation runs, more than the manager, more than the mechanic, more than anyone else in the plant. So they should have responsibility. And this board really is to convey that responsibility. This board really is the operator saying, I understand these are the things that I have to do in this amount of time or this quantity. And if I get them done, they use a green marker. If they don't get them done, they use a red marker, and where possible, they'll have a comment, certainly for the red stuff, as far as what contributed to not getting target. How can we execute better so that next time we can get product? What help do you need? Now, in this case, I just said, we needed to get 5. We only got 4. I was distracted by a beautiful cow, whatever the case, right? So you have all this information. And then it's the operator saying, this is my reality. This is what I believe. This is what I'm showing. This is how I'm executing. So if what we're really trying to do here, and I've changed the beautiful cow to the schedule is wrong, which creates a good example situation to say, if the schedule is wrong, does the operator have the authority to go to the schedule and say the schedule is wrong? Well, the operator has the authority to go to the manager and say, I'm trying to get 5 done and I can't get 5 done because the schedule is wrong. I would like to, either have the scheduler take consideration of what's going on, or have the procurement person set it up so that we can actually get the right thing done or whatever. But at the end of the day, the person who has the most understanding of what's going wrong and how to make it better isn't the scheduler, isn't procurement, isn't management. It's the person who is there, the operator. So the operator is motivated to improve the operation because they get credit for it. This is standing right next to them. Like, it's right there. Um, but it also makes them proactive about, all right, if I'm going to end up putting a red mark up, I don't want a red mark. I want a green mark. What can I do to get there? So there's that motivation. In fact, one time when I had these implemented, really good implementation, we had 9 manual lines, and the area lead, who was responsible for all 9 lines, after about a week, came to me and said, Dino, this is really good. We're really liking it. The only thing we would request is if you could eliminate all the red markers, because the red markers are the problem. And at that point, I knew that the responsibility was in exactly the right spot. So you get that. So this is, it's a one point of contact. It now comes down to the operator becomes the authority. And you say, well, the operator doesn't know everything. And like, I'll use the example, I don't know everything about my car. I'm mechanically inclined to some extent, but I still need a mechanic. That doesn't mean the mechanic decides everything. I decide what the mechanic does. The mechanic just does a really good job of it. And it comes down to the operator doesn't know everything that has to go on, but they decide what has to happen because they are closest to making that decision. They have the best information for that. And what this really leads to is a culture of operator specialists. So they become very attuned to what's going on in their situation instead of a culture of managers who are trying to, overrule everything. And I find just giving that empowerment, moving that responsibility to the operator really makes a huge difference from the standpoint of performance, from the standpoint of responsibility and response, and it just makes for a better environment. So hopefully that makes a bit of sense, but it comes right out of having good data to start with so that you can look at, does our empirical information match our performance information? Is there a big gap? Like, for example, if I'm trying to implement this on kegs, it's going to be a lot harder because we're putting new things in kegs all the time. We got to get around to maybe these 4 kegs have to be part of this cell, those 8 kegs have to be part of that cell, and then their schedules tend to stabilize and we can do a much better job of this. So the other issue here is we're probably not going to do this in Stardew Valley. First off, because they really don't have a good whiteboard system. They have some text signs, but that really doesn't replace a whiteboard. But as well, we only have really one operator, Av, and Av's fantastic. But other than just the intro that I have each day, say, Av, this is what I'd like to get you to do, which is kind of that target anyway. Having the individual areas with the individual schedules with the individual whiteboards, or the red-green boards as I like to call them, just becomes a little bit of a problem from an execution standpoint. But the concept I'll stand behind every day, all day. So hopefully this helps. Like I said, we will get to what Av is going to do, the Av sort of to-do list or Av schedule. Today is day 60, so Av, you can water and harvest the crops. And the goats and the chickens and everything else you have to harvest, and exactly. And then pet the animals, process the animal products, accumulate hardwood for Robin. We have a quest with Robin, 80 hardwood. We should be able to easily get it done by the end of the week, but no sense in leaving it to the last minute. Once you have free time, though, if you want to forage or mine, knock yourself out. So I'm going to turn it over to Av. Thanks, Dino. Okay, we are back. And the weather's going to be cloudy tomorrow, and the good humor today for Fortune. So that's a good thing. And they're talking about the Grange. That doesn't happen for a while. The Grange exposition, or the festival. That's not going to be for a little while. We will start planning for that a bit ahead. But, we're out of water. We just pet Meow. Got our first eggplant. We're going to use that. We're going to drop that off at the bundles at the community center. Got some water. Might as well get our chickens and our ducks and our cows and goats while we're here. We do need some more. We don't have the automatic feeder like we do in the cow barn. in the coop because we don't have the full coop yet, but that's going to come. It's just a matter of filling in a little bit of hay. So it's an even day. We have even goats, so we're going to even get some goat milk, and that's a good thing. So we'll open things up. We'll fill our cheese press and fill our mayonnaise machine. We just did the quick check to make sure we got all the animals, and we did. So you were going to put the duck in this time. The duck egg for duck mayonnaise. It's worth a little more. Might as well get it sooner. And this is the first day. We got our 3 eggs. So this is the first day we actually put eggs. We got our first 3 apples. So this is the first day we've actually put apple in. So that's the way it's supposed to work, is take it off the tree, drop it into one of the 3 nearby jars. And I think that that fluidity is something that we're trying to mimic everywhere. So that's something. So we made tree fertilizer last night. We didn't have time to fully execute it, but we're going to do it now. And given that we're going to be around the farm, we're going to use up the 15 regular coffee beans and the 5 silver coffee beans, just so we can convert those to coffee, get the money for them, and then we can reload them later with hops. And whatever we don't have for coffee beans, we're just going to use hops. So we got our full-grown mahogany. We will put down the mahogany seed, and we'll fertilize the ones that we can. So we got that taken care of. Clear up some. We don't want to hit that sapling there, so we don't want to get too close. But yeah, so now we'll get to a bit of the farming things. There's still some watering that we need to do. We're too far away there. Still some watering that we need to do. It's certainly not the same burden that it was earlier on. Early game, I find it's just a lot water for the 2 hours or 3 hours, whatever. So in this point, we can do it a lot faster. Now, I was going to plant 2 or 4 or whatever, just a couple more amaranth or new amaranth, but we don't have. We sent our hoe in for upgrade, so we don't have a hoe that we can actually plant 2 or 4 more amaranth. So if we're going to do that, we'll wait for tomorrow, because we do want amaranth for a quest that Marnie gave us. Apparently, the cows love amaranth. So that would be a good thing to offer her. To help out a neighbor. That's a nice thing to do. So just clearing up the pots. The plan is actually to get down to the ocean today, so it's a good thing to have whatever. In this case, we got the crayfish harvested from the pots, the crab pots, so that if we're going down there anyway, we might as well get some real-time money. Now, you're noticing that I'm going through, it takes a lot of time to get 80 hardwood off of. The sort of mechanism in Stardew Valley is, at least the ones I understand, is you can either get 1 or all, or you can get half. And 80 wasn't 1 or all or half in that case. But the idea being, for the quest for Robin, we can drop off the 80 before we've even harvested them, so that's good. But we found some rings in the water, so we're going to take full advantage of that. We got a chub. Man, those chubs are way more work than the money they'd return. I think chubs are the sort of the bane fish. We did get a largemouth bass. That's a good return. So see what we can get. There's a fair bit going on here, and we're basically hitting fish at a pretty good rate. Usually the threshold I find is about 1 per 10 minutes, and we're doing a little faster than 1 per 10 minutes. We had a couple that were in the same 10-minute range. So I'm kind of happy with what we're getting as far as a response. That has to do with the rings, and that has to do with the tackle we have, and that has to do with the bait that we have. We have not had the best bait yet. At least I'm sure there's a better best bait, but the next best bait is Linus will teach us how to make wild bait, and that one's good. Sometimes we can get double fish from that. So, but we're not there yet. But we do have a good bait for a good rate. We do want to take advantage. Our tackle just worn out, and we found some forage item. Our tackle worn out, so I figured, given that the tackle isn't there, it's a good time to sort of leave. So, okay, we dropped off the 80. We got a little ding, ding, ding there. So once we do harvest the 80, we will have the money available to us. It's not the order of that does not matter whether we harvest it first or drop it off first. I know it seems a bit absurd, but that's the situation. So we were going to drop off our eggplant. Really proud about this eggplant. We just need a pumpkin, and then we're done. And then, of course, the animal products. We should have brought the milk with us. We do have that. We have a regular large milk and a goat large milk. Okay, well, next time we're through. So, sell off what we got, and we got a fair bit today, including those 5 honey that we were talking about in the intro. Sorry, we didn't sell the 5 honey. We did get the 5 honey. We just left them because it's wild honey. There's only worth 100, but we can actually put them in the kegs when we have time in the kegs for mead, which is worth 300, but we're still better off putting hops before honey to get that 300 because pale ale is also 300 and has a cheaper input, so it's a better return until we run out of hops. So let's sell off what we got fish-wise and forage-wise, and I'm happy to get that money. So off we're going to go. We're going to make our way over to the secret forest where we can get some more hardwood. We'll say hi to Jody as we go by. That's a nice thing, the neighborly thing to do as well. Even when Dino was talking about the whiteboards and the empowerment and stuff, a lot of that has to be supported with just the general demeanor with the operators, that you have to have a decent relationship for them to trust that you're not trying to corner them or trying to fire them, or, it's not a trick kind of thing. So the whiteboards can be a very, very effective tool, but they really have to be trusted on both sides, on the management side and the operator side. And both Dino and I have seen situations where sometimes one of those sides doesn't trust it, and we really got to do some work, or it's just not going to work at all. So, all right, let's we keep. Hey, blue guy, you want to meet my sword? Okay, there we go. We do need a little bit of food to keep us going. All right, we even got a chanterelle out of it. That's good. We can use that one in the jars. We are not going to go chasing other green guys, though. We're just going to finish off with our... Oh, we just finished Robin's project. That was a good thing to do. I didn't know that the count would come so close, but apparently we finished 80 this week, and we dropped off 80, so all conditions have been met. We got our 2,000 from Robin's project and her quest, and she's going to be happy because of that, and we're going to get our milk, and we're going to drop off our milk at the community center, just checking in on the girls to make sure they got home okay. So load up with what we need to do from the animal products. Okay. Oh, we forgot the cheese. We don't need the cheese. That's got to go back at some point. So put the chanterelle with the rest of the jar products. And because we got that hazelnut, we can make the fall seeds. And because of the fall seeds, we can make the saplings. And we can... Why are we only making 3 saplings? We don't have enough wood. That's crazy. Yeah, it's the wood problem. Okay, let's go find some wood. Oh, and our coffee's ready. Who ordered coffee? We got some pale ale coming up. So we're having problems here. Let's my cursor, my mouse is not cooperating at all. It just seems to randomly flutter through different things. So having a bit of technical difficulty here. Okay, we are back. Sorry about that. I replaced the battery. Hopefully that's good enough. But kind of freaky when you're trying to put stuff in kegs and it keeps flipping through. Do you want to put your sword in the keg? No. Do you want to put your axe in the keg? No. So just put the hops. Okay, so we got 1 tree. That's good. We'll get 1 more tree. That should be enough wood for at least what we need. We'll need more wood later on. Oh, and guess we're hungry too. We'll need more wood later on, but for now that should get us so that we can put all of our fall seeds, blend them into tea tree. There we go. And then we could put those in the shipper, and we're good. That takes care of that. We can head off to the community center and put the milk in, and we actually have 15,000 plus. so we can put 15,000 worth of stuff in the vault. That'll be good. I don't think it's going to rain tomorrow, but the 10,000 will give us a lightning rod, so we'll just set that up so we don't have to set it up later. That's going to be an easy thing to think through. So milk, and then it's just a matter. We got our cheese press. Just a matter of waiting for that pumpkin, and then that room is done. So I'm liking the rate at which we're getting stuff done. Let's do the 10,000 first. We got the lightning rod. We'll do the 5,000 next. 800. We only need 2,500. I think we can do this. I think we can figure this out. So Pierre's is closed. We're not going to get money from Pierre's. Marlin's is open. I think this is doable. We are going to do this. We are going to make this happen. Okay. This is exciting. All right, let's get what we need. We need a whole bunch of products that Marlin can buy. Let's cut our void essence in half. We got, what do we got? Bat wings. We can cut the bat wings in half. We can cut the slimes in half. Yeah, let's get the bat wings. 20 is good. And then we'll cut the slimes. And we only need 20 of the solar essence. So we will need coffee. Oh, this is going to be a tight squeeze. I think we're going to fall asleep on the grass again. All right, let's run. Let's go. We're going to make this. I'm excited. All right. So we're going to go through the mines. We're going to come out to, let's grab, we got, the club. We're going to run out to Marlin's. We're going to sell everything we get. It's midnight already. We're going to sell everything we got that Marlin is going to love. Of course, we're going to keep the 2 items that we use for defense. And then we're going back to the community center. The timing is good. This could work. Okay, so in the community center, we're going right to the vault, nowhere else. We are going to put in our 2,500, and the Jaminos are going to have a little dance party. I think Michael Jackson's playing. I'm not sure. We dropped the cake. Oh, we got the cake back. Okay, whew, that was close. Okay. All right, so now we got to get to bed. It's 12:50. We actually have a bit of, this is working out better than I thought. We actually have a bit of time here. But not a lot. I'm glad we got the coffee, let me tell you. Okay, we have to drop off the cake. We're going to look at some animal products. Yeah, the cheese has got to go back. Oh, I'm so confused. Let's put the cheese press in front of the barn, and then we can fill it. We're running out of time. The cheese press is there. Okay, we wanted 2, but we only got 1. All right. Okay, let's put the egg in. And, okay, forget it. We're just going to bed. We left the cake in the wrong spot. We didn't get enough milk. And we're still carrying the eggs. This is not a good situation. But we're in bed. We're good. And the Chimino guys are fixing the bus for us. This is awesome. Okay. Breathe. This is good. Okay, next morning, the weather's going to be cloudy, and the spirits are good humor. Back to you, Dino. Wow. That was a gamble that paid off. It was risky, but you did a great job, Av. That was spectacular. So as far as things we got done, we did harvest in one of the crops. We did pet and process the animal products. We did accumulate hardwood for Robin. We closed that one. That was awesome. And we got the bus fix for the desert. That's I think that's the earliest in the game that I've ever played where we got the desert for, what was it? Day 60 or fall 4. That's maybe you've had it earlier for different reasons, but that's pretty early for me. So I gotta be impressed with Av on that one. That was a good play. So okay, hopefully you're getting something out of this, whether it's the excitement of Av or some sort of learning level. If we can assist on either way, the entertainment or the learning or whatever the case, certainly put it in the comments. And hopefully we will see you back next episode where we will get to the desert with this typical soap opera. Tune in next week when we will find that there's people in the desert. Okay. So hopefully we'll see you next episode. Either way, this is Dino the Ops Guy signing off.